All right, hello everybody. It's me, Alien Spaceship. I am glad to be here. It has been a nice streaming week. So we have some different stuff we're going to be talking about with the solar flares, the solar storm that's coming, trials, and a variety of other different things. Y'all are here. All right. So now going to the other part. Let's go here. All right, I'm gonna try out the pirate game for a little while, see how it goes, and if this doesn't work out, we'll just do the article stuff while we uh, wait for people to come. And also, it's part of the stream. All right. Yeah, shout out to the frogs. All the frogs are cool. All right. Game is starting. Yeah, so the weather's kind of cloudy right now. It's overcast. I think we've been having some rain recently. I don't really think there's going to be much weather. It should be clear the next few days from what I'm seeing. And the solar flares, the solar storms, will cause problems most likely to different connections and outlets and things like that. Something very important that people should be aware of. All right, so we're gonna go out and sink some ships, and we'll get started. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hello, Remy. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Hope you've been having a good day. So, yeah, and basically what's going on is that there's these solar storms that'll be coming towards the planet, and they will be causing. It could be causing internet outages and blackouts. It'll be quite interesting to see how that works out. Yeah, and I think that a lot of people are not prepared, but Eugene gave some great tips, or I'll read it later, about how people could prepare for that if something bad does happen. And yeah, it's great to see you, Remy. And there's no Karen Reed today or tomorrow, and I had a I had a long night, and then today I was doing some stuff with things with Google, and then now I am here and I did some stuff with the cats. So it was a very busy day, but I'm glad to be here now. Yeah, so I think that with these solar storms, it doesn't happen that frequently, and I think that's what causes the northern lights to happen. Uh, you're welcome, Remy. Yeah, and so when the solar storms and stuff, it'll. I think that's what causes the northern lights. And the northern lights they occur up north, very far up north, in certain places. Now there was a wave of northern lights that came to the state. It wasn't that visible down here, but it looked kind of strange down here at night. It was so we got a little bit of it, but it wasn't that much because usually They don't come this low, but this was like last year this happened. So yeah, some interesting stuff going on in the Earth, around the Earth and out in space. So I remember how like they basically were talking about the planets and different stuff like that, how they can do different things. So basically, with the hello Sharon, it's great to see you. Oh, and there's the frog, ribbit, ribbit. Shout out to the frog. So like with Planet 10, how they Zero confirmed that Planet 10 is real, so they are starting to confirm Planet 10. Now what they're doing is the solar flare. They can't really hide that, and it's coming our way. And hello there. All right. Now we're going to go attack this ship right here. And I think it's crazy how the sun or some sort of solar flare can cause a blackout and it could cause our problems to our planet and just knock everything out. I think that's quite scary in a way. And that's why I do think it's important. Religion has something good about it where you trust in God, because it's like, I think that's good we have that, which I do believe is real. And hello, Rebecca. Oh, it's great to see you, Rebecca. Hope that you've been doing well with yourself too, and everybody else here. I appreciate everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Yeah. So, and as I said, shout out to Zero. He was the one that brought it up to us, and he was right. He was right. He told us before anyone else talked about it. We heard it from him first. I'm scared. They weren't able to take me down because I took them down first. Haha. And now we're going to go to this kind of funny island. It has some interesting stuff on it. And I did glance over at the Diddy stream today, and they show the little card on the side of the window with the updates. And Law and Crime has also recreated some of the scenes with AI, so that was interesting. I saw some parts of that, which that was a separate video. Take it all. There's a curse staff. We already have a staff, so it's okay. Oh yeah, so we have these little critters over here. So I think that, so as I said, it's good in a way that there's no Karen Reed, although some people are upset, that there's no trials, but still, it was pretty cool to see. Like some people would be upset because they can't see a trial, but also there was none of that drama, because I think that the Karen Reed trial is basically started a trial civil war, and it divided people. So as I said, it's good that was, in a way, that's good it was going on today in a way. We've talked about that quite a bit here. So I think that the trial schedule has been quite different than what it used to be, because there hasn't been a lot of different trials going on. And a lot of the trials are in California that would last into the night. Those kind of trials. But then these trials will keep on going and going. Like the Koberger trial will be something interesting. I hope that there's no division like it was with this one. And Sharon says, not really ill pretend, hope all good with you. And she said, sorry to hear that, but I get you. There's strength in helping it moving. I'm okay, just tired today. Uh, oh, okay, chat. I'm tired myself, but as I said, it's been a busy week for a lot of us. For a lot of us. Yeah, so yeah, this is the place in Blige It's there's a lot of birds and stuff here to explore. It's quite interesting. And I saw some videos of some of these inmates that were captured from the New Orleans inmates that escaped. I saw some of the videos of it. I saw that, and that was quite interesting. Not, I wouldn't say quite interesting. It was very suspenseful. Also, it was kind of like a movie because the way they broke into this, they're breaking into this house to go and get them. It was like a Michael Bay movie. That one was. I stayed home today watching Better Call Saul, but I did gift myself a new watch, and oh, that's really cool. That's really cool, Remy. You know, speaking of watches, I have a pocket watch, and I think that you know that was something I always liked because when I saw Titanic, it was pocket watches. Oh, and it's unusually hot over there. Ah, okay, quite unusual. Yeah, this is a cave where they would do mining for different minerals and stuff, and they have different villains and stuff down here. And I do, as I said, well, since we like talking about the space stuff and all, we're going to go in detail about the solar, what do we call it, the solar storms coming our way. We'll talk more in detail about it. Sharon, I'm obsessed with astronomy. I wish I could visit the moon. Yeah, shout out to the moon. It's in the 50s. Scared. Where I am, it's 84 with high humidity. Kathy Griffith has been busy, but she's okay, as far as I know. Oh, you've been there on your magic carpet. Oh, that's a fun to ride on the magic carpet. The ones on my planet are transparent, so it looks like you're invisibly flying in the sky. That's pretty cool. All right. Here's all the rocks, different enemies. Let's see how quickly this takes it down. Let's see. They're all gonna attack, and there we go. There he goes. Or I think she babysitter and her granddaughter is now full time. Okay, Sharon. Thanks for the update about her. So I knew she was busy. I wasn't quite sure what she was doing though. Yeah, Sharon. Tell her that we said hello. Also myself. This is a nice dark jail with no sunlight. You got this pirate dude who's just chilling right here as a skeleton. Well, there's a character in there. That's interesting. I crapped myself when that pirate stood up. Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was funny. All right, so this is the jail. It's dark, nice and dark in here, and you have a character that's in there, and you have all these skeletons and stuff. Looks like there's a little bit of an entrance, outrance there. Have all these shackles and stuff. Yeah, this place is like a little town. That's quite crazy here. Well, I would assume frogs would do it quite frequently. And you have this lady right here who's trying to feed the chickens, and all the chickens are looking at me. The passion of the frog. Scared. Yeah, this. Yeah, I like how this has. See the type of sails that this ship has. It's a type that looks like silks, which are like from the Middle East. It's a nice design that they have available. But yeah, that was funny what I said. Yeah. Zero was showing me something about in the future they might be able to use the sun as a power source with a bunch of solar panels like floating around the sun. I thought that was an interesting concept. And there's so many that we haven't explored, and also the oceans. There's so many things in the oceans that haven't been seen. Now, sometimes when I'm in the woods in my yard, my mind will play tricks on me. Sometimes I'll see a log and I'll think it's a cat. So yeah, sometimes it'll mine will play tricks on you, and especially in space. Like I'll think it's a moon, but it's an asteroid heading towards the spaceship. You got some characters right here. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and shout out to the horses too. Shout out to the horses. That's awesome. Oh, thanks, Frog, for explaining. One of my friends has a farm. I think the farm life's quite intriguing. Now, the bigger destroyer ship, that one is a good one to launch. When I was, yeah, so, and today I was doing some stuff with Google. I was doing some things with cats and stuff, and I had yeah, so it was quite busy today, but I was glad to be able to get on here with y'all in the evening time. Cross his legs. Ah, yeah, Sharon, yeah. And Eugene says Dyson sphere is a hypothetical massive megastructure often described as a spherical shell that its highly advanced civilization could build around a star to capture and harness its energy. Ah, thank you, thank you. Oh yeah, the Arabian horses are very cool. One of my friends has one. Yeah, those are very cool horses. Oh, that's very. Oh, that's good. I think that people that are perverts and pedos, they certainly they sunk my ship. They hit me with a fireball. Well, that's good, Remy, because I think those people are the most sickest, disgusting people on earth, and they shouldn't be reproducing, and they should be, sent to a dungeon in the depths of space somewhere. Yeah, they don't belong on this planet. Yeah, so that's good to hear. I think that perverts and pedos, it would also be a good deterrent for people that want to try to do stuff like that. Yes, Remy, and we know from the trials that we watch is that a lot of these people repeat behavior. They repeat the behavior. Like Baker from the Monica Cementelli trials, she did, and also more specifically, Baker, he repeated his offenses. And we know from the trials and from in general that they do repeat. They have a compulsion that they just keep doing it over and over again. Yeah, they certainly deserve it. Yeah, Baker was so stupid. He was jailing. Yeah, he was jailing. Yeah, he was dumb. It's like Karen Reed's was much more clever than Baker because he was just so obvious about it. Yeah, he was a complete clown. Oh yeah, yeah. You miss him in his resting bee face. Yeah, I remember. And also, he was like a hunchback of Timu. I remember he was all hunched over, and he looks like a villain, like like a villain that's like cringing at his own existence. That's what he seemed like to me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's permanently jailing now. Yeah. It was so great to see Monica's face when she was found guilty. It was like that was awesome. Monica was scared. Scared. Hello, Zero. Zero, it is great to see you, buddy. So basically, Zero, I want to congratulate you for being the first person to tell us about the solar storms coming to the Earth. It's all over the news that it's going to cause blackouts and stuff. So yeah, shout out to you, buddy. Glad to have you on board. And Remy says, "Ew, those phone calls." Oh, those phone calls were disgusting. I mean, and the drawings too were gross. And they were so pathetic doing that stuff in their, in their phone calls, doing nasty things, and then that's play for the public. Yeah, my sailing skills. Yeah. Oh, hello there, Breeze. It's wonderful to see you. Hello there. Eugene, writing music is a good thing. It's a good thing to write music. I think that that's not doing nothing. And also today you gave good advice about how to solve the problem with when in a survival situation. You said some good tips that we'll read later. So you did that. You gotta remember that nothing was a waste. It all was a purpose for something. Oh, hello, Kathy Smith. I'm so delighted to see you. It's been a while since you've been here. I saw you earlier today, but it's nice to see you back here. All right, so Kathy, so I have a new possum story. So basically, what happened was there is this. We have a new cat named Claude, and I nicknamed him the boss because he's very confident, and he likes to have the food fixed for him right when he comes here. So today I was seeing that Mary Toodles was feeding Claude before I came here. And then you had the white cat, Bubbles' brother slash Pootsy, and also nicknamed as Sugar too, the white cat, outside. And he was watching the other cat eat because he tries to get him away from here. So what he did was they were like at a Mexican standoff. Then I saw that she was feeding a possum too. So there was a possum that was hanging out and eating food. So you have possums and the cats eating together. That was a very fascinating day. Fascinating day and fascinating to see that. So yeah, I've been seeing that possum. He's been. Oh, well, anyway, I've seen that possum, and he was doing very, good. He was just being a good little possum sitting there. Claude is an amazing name. Thank you. Yeah, I thought one of the we named him Claude. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to chat, spreading love. Oh, yesterday when I was feeding Claude last night, he, I saw this possum, a baby possum, and he came out of behind the hot water heater because he's living in that little house thing, and he was just sitting there. And Claude was hanging out, was eating his food, and the possum was sitting there. There was a June bug that came and landed, and the possum ate it and went back in his hole. And he took a moment to get back in his hole, but he eventually got in there. So funny because the possum was waiting to eat that a little bug. Oh yeah, the baby possums. Yeah. As I said today, I was doing stuff with Google today. I was doing stuff with Google, and something I've not. I made this account thing. I made this special account thing, and I made it back in 2016. Right in the summer, right? I'd say in a month or two, it'll be like a year. It'll be a few years. Quite a few years ago this summer when I created it, or it could have been around this time in 2016. I made this thing and I have to have it reactivated all these years later. And I was very, a warming thing. It's like a time capsule, so, and I had to do some stuff with Google today and it was very great, to get that done. So, and all of you really helped me out with the, channel, and y'all are part of the channel and contributed to it. So that's why I'm always appreciating to be of a service to you all, and it's nice talking. And shout out to Kathy Smith's little kitty babies. It's so cute. Now we're going to be landing. A possum in my room, and I got through a hole in the roof. I eventually got it out the got it out through the window. Oh, one time there is a okay. So this is another story. Like last year, there is this situation where Mary Toodles will wake me up at some point, and hello BK, good to see you, buddy. And Eugene, that's quite frightening. I'm glad you're able to get the possum out your room. There's this time where there's a possum in the cat room on the window, and the possum thought it was a cat. And it was blending in with the cats, and the cats didn't mind him. He was hanging out there. So then what I did was I had to get something, and I had to pick up the possum and put it in a cat taxi. And as I said, it's like I felt like I always keep my calm. I keep my cool. At the same time, it was also, I felt like dissecting a bomb, like cutting the different wires to make sure you don't get blown up. So yeah, that, as I said, it was I kept my calm, and the possum just kind of this is agreeable. It was a baby possum. Oh, Kathy, I'm glad that you're giving them space and they're sweet. Moki hasn't come yet, but I believe she'll hopefully be here later. And also, I want to say that yesterday there was a misunderstanding with something Moki said, and she said that she was misunderstood. She didn't mean anything offensive. So, yeah, Remy was triggered, but she didn't mean it in the way she thought she did. So hopefully we can have a peaceful resolution in that situation, because she wasn't trying to say anything bad. Moki's always been a great chat friend, and always she's very fascinating with aliens. She was always very fascinated with aliens, and we're glad to have her here with that. Oh, okay, Remy. Okay, Remy. Well, it's unfortunate to hear about that. And I just would like to if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer. Why do you think that it was not a misunderstanding? But you don't have to answer that if you don't want to. I was just curious. But thank you for letting me know what happened, what you did. It's okay. Thank you. So as I said, I think Remy's fine in my opinion. Like I don't think, but as I said, we will see how this goes. All right, Remy. I don't know who it is. She said it was somebody from the OJ trial. Like I think she was. I don't really, as I said, I'm not quite sure. Like I didn't understand exactly what was going on, but I think she was just explaining about something that happened in a trial. I don't think she was trying to be. Maybe you thought she was trying to be prejudiced or something. I don't think that was what she was trying to do, or whatever you thought she was doing. But I understand you feel she was, so you just do what you feel is best. But I don't know who that is. All right, I'll listen to the tapes. Because I just and now I think that maybe you feel it doesn't apply to this situation, but sometimes there has been misunderstandings. Not with I'm not saying this situation that you feel it. You are entitled to your opinion, and I think that in my own time, there's been situations where I misunderstood people, and I know emotions could be high. When we're dealing with certain things, and I think that a lot of times it can lead to a lot of trouble, of course. But there's nothing wrong with debating, or if somebody feels someone did something wrong, they do what they feel is best. I just I hope that we all can eventually get along. All right. And Remy said it's not a misunderstanding. Her mask slipped. All right. And Kathy said he said a terrible word and lied about it. Okay, Kathy. All right. Okay. As I said, I still like to talk to Remy. I mean, I like to talk to both Remy and Moki, because I like talking to her about the aliens and stuff and different things. But you know, people don't have to talk who they don't want to talk to. I'm glad you're here, Kathy. Glad you're here. As I said, people do what they feel is best. You like the drama, Breeze. You like the drama. He said a lot worse. Yeah, I thought that Moki was saying that somebody said the N word, but I don't think she said it was a good thing. But as I said, I could have just skimmed over it for a second. But as I said, I still stand by that. In my opinion, I think Moki is fine, in my opinion. But people could disagree with me. But I think she's okay. I don't like drama and don't do drama. Okay. Play the tapes. I will review the tapes later. I'll look at them. I will. I have to go and look for them. As I said, I don't. I have to go find them. All right. So position is understood, Remy. Thank you for telling me your thoughts about this matter. All right. And as I said, I will review the tapes. I will. So yeah, and I will always say that I think that tapes in criminal trials is quite good to see. Now I will say that in spite of our differences, we all like watching trials. We all like doing that, and we all want justice. When we see the trials. So I do think there are things we do have in common, which is good. That's why I think it's good we could find common ground in these situations, and everybody can feel free to talk about their thoughts. 90s LA horrific time. Yeah, LA is having problems still now. And I will say LA still has homeless problems. There's homeless people over the streets. There's still a lot of cringe. A lot of cringe. Scared. You're going to be coming next year, Remy. Oh, okay. Yeah, LA is horrible. That's true. That's true. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think that LA is extremely corrupted. I think that they are cringe beyond comprehension, and they do not. They need to get back on the right track. Yeah, come visit me in Skid Row. Scared. And then Kathy says, "I hope your cat sitter gets better soon. Glad your cat is good." Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Virginia. Virginia is awesome. Yeah, shout out to Virginia. Okay. Okay, Sharon, thanks. Virginia is on my list. The Midwest is calling me. And then BK says he'd pick Kensington over Oakland. Okay. Scared. All right, then we're going that way and getting them right there. Oh yeah, for faux show. Scared. I am the fair alien. Yes, I'm always fair. I want to do the history of American round trip. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, America's history is so fascinating. Yeah, I'm always very inspired by it. It's very cool. Timu Philly. I gotta get a little bit away from this ship. I'm going to turn and go here. Go here. And I got it wrong. I got it wrong. All right, nice to see you back, Frog. All right, very quickly. I was almost about to sink them, but I was being a little bit foolish because I was sinking them another way, and they got me. That was me being foolish on my part. BK, one of my favorite bands in the '90s, is from Bakersfield. That's a bad place. I'm scared. All right, so go back and get the ship. I'd rather be in a drug zone than a war zone. Ah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the war. I know what it's like to be in a war zone. I know exactly what it's like. Timu, buddy. Now we're gonna avenge this other ship and attack the other ones. Alrighty. Oh, one night I was watching the moon. It looked very nice, and it was over these elephant ear plants that I had, and it had this lunar glow to it. That's very cool. Oh, he had a car crash. Oh, no. Prayers for his recovery, definitely. But he's fine now and will recover completely. Well, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's recovering. But that's hard. That's horrible. May we all be protected from something like that. Amen. Oh, right. Now we're going to go here and attack. Then ram into this. and also, Kathy, I visited E.T. the alien cat. I visited him. And he's getting really big. He's growing nicely. And he likes to sit on my lap and he likes to curl up, but he also loves to bite. He loves to bite. Oh, San Francisco and Alcatraz. Nice, nice. Yeah, we're out, yeah, Alcatraz. Yeah. Hello, Regina. Great to see you. Hello. Welcome to the chat. And also the cat we called Normal, we call him Praline now. Yeah, it is sketchy like Antarctica. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. It means a lot to me. My family has rescued animals for many, many decades. On both sides of my family. And my dad was good with animals too. But my mom is the best with animals. She's the best with the animals. You know, but it was just something to mention that both parents are good with animals. There are a lot of demonic people out there, Remy. That's true. Yes. My mom has a cat farm. Yeah. Yeah. So shout out to the farmers. And Remy said, I did one with a friend. Just drove south, went far as Tennessee, did the Blue Ridge Parkway. Was beautiful. We camped. It was fun. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. And oh, also one night, Kathy, I heard some crazy noise, and I saw something in the sky, but it was just a bird. It was an owl. It was not necessarily an owl. It wasn't hooting. It wasn't an owl. It was some other kind of bird, and that could have been a monster or something. It was a bird though, but yeah, that was something nice to hear in the middle of the night when there's no sound. Now Tennessee is nice, and also Kentucky. I love Kentucky. The nice rolling hills of Kentucky is very nice. I remember I used to play with the dog. My mom's aunt's dog was very cool. Blue Ridge Parkway. Oh, Yosemite Park's very good too. Yes. Kathy, yes, beautiful drive, Great Smoky Mountains, Virginia. Mary said Montana is beautiful, Dakota, the Indian reservoirs, the Indian reservations, Yellowstone, you guys are lucky. It's truly beautiful land. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate, admire, and love America. It's an amazing country. Thank you. And I love that stuff too. And now I like watching the Twilight Zone. That's a that show shows a lot from that part of the country and like the old west. I love that show. And yes, I love the land too. It's very a beautiful eclectic land that we have here. Yeah, so I'm glad that you could appreciate it as well. Yeah, this ship's better to maneuver because it's so small. Oh, hello, Moki. It's great to see you. Hello there. I'm trying to get negotiations. I'm trying to get negotiations for you. It's been real tough. I'm trying to get the negotiations. Scared. And yeah, so Moki, we're talking about a couple of different things. We're talking about different parts of the United States. We're we're talking about the animals and about the solar flare. So that is why we're just having a good time talking. And then another thing, Moki, is that a little bit very soon we're gonna go and launch the not launch. We're gonna go talk about the solar flares and different stuff. And you got any links or anything to send me? I'll go look at them. All right. Remy says, I kind of understand why people fight for America. It's an amazing, beautiful land. Not sure the American people though. Joke. Yeah, Remy. We're a bunch of clowns. We're Timu, a bunch of Timu clowns. You know, we are a bunch of rags, but we would be very honored to have an elegant lady like yourself to come to our great nation. That'd be very nice. And hello there, Joyce. We are definitely one of a kind, us Americans, of course. Oh yeah, exactly, Joyce, exactly. You are originally from Kentucky, Moki. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. Yes, as I said, I enjoyed the mountains. And, oh, the mountains, driving through the mountains is so cool. They look so huge. And the hills, I loved walking through the hills. Yeah, and it was so nice and peaceful at night. Yeah, it was very. I really enjoyed it. And I went to the American colony that was there. I went to the Civil War battlefield, and yeah, it was very, very awesome. And we also encountered a ghost. The dog was barking at something that was next to us, and it's like, it had to be a spirit or something there. Yeah, and as I said, I love the Twilight Zone marathon on the 4th of July. That is certainly something that I'm going to be watching. Yes, BK Louisiana. Yes. NOLA. Where all the criminals just can break out of prison. You could just, they could just they could just really hard pull the door very hard, and they could be able to get it out. They could just pull the door open and run out. So, and also something in Kentucky, I had to keep swallowing. I had to keep swallowing because of the pressure is very different up there than it is down here. Oh, oh yeah. Oh, I love Alaska. Oh, I love Alaska. I have some subscribers from there. Maybe they'll be lurking in the chat. I have some from there. Alaska pays people to live there. Very nice lands. Oh yeah, yeah. Alas, I have another. I have some subscribers from there. Yeah, I love helping animals and seeing them and observing the different animals in different areas. When I was in Kentucky, I thought that I saw a giant bat, but my mind was probably playing some tricks on me. Because I told you that happens. That happens. Now I have seen real bats. I've seen real bats here, and they're little tiny little things. But you got to be careful because if it bites you, it'd be a problem. Yeah. Scared. It's when something like that bites you, you gotta capture it to see if it had rabies or not. Oh yeah, I love seeing nature and relax. That's why I like doing the garden lives. And Kathy, I've done really late night garden lives where I showed the garden and the different stuff in it, and they really enjoyed the nature walk. I am growing a garden, but I've been very focused on this YouTube stuff more than anything. Yeah, I used to garden be out there quite frequently, but now I'm like more focused on the YouTube stuff. But I am not regretting it. I will continue to garden, but I'm glad I got y'all on board the spaceship. The Law and Crime expansion was one of the greatest expansions because that was so cool to learn different things and meet different people is nice. And Frog wants to go to Southern Alaska. Moki loves trees and forests, but she lives in a desert. Oh, Iceland is beautiful. Yeah, that's another one that's nice. Oh, Joyce said she's moving to Paris or UK one day. She's over it. Scared. Great place for stargazing in the auroras. Oh yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I love the Nordic countries in Scandinavia. Very nice. And at some point, the Vikings did raid the British Isles, and I'm glad they did. They spread their genes everywhere. And yeah, I always was fascinated with the Nordic countries and Iceland. I remember there's this one video my buddy and I were watching, and oh, many years ago. And yeah, these people in Iceland, it was so nice and like dark and cloudy, and then they were doing stuff in their like snow. It was very fascinating. Yeah. Oh, I love the Northern Lights, definitely. Moki says, Sharon, same here. Last time I rode the horse, just went back to the barn with me on it. Hilarious. Nomad, welcome to the chat. I'm glad to have y'all here. Awesome. Hello there. Yellowstone is so cool because the little thing it spouts up. That's very nice. And Niagara Falls in Canada is cool. Yeah, so and I like the terrain in the Midwest. It's like the plains. There's so much rolling plain. So there's like a plain. It's like the sky just goes on forever, and the whole land just so much space. A lot of tornadoes happen there, but it just there's so much space, and there's so much land. It's just incredible to see. And then Kathy says that would be fantastic. I think Lawyer Lee is visiting Iceland right now. Oh yeah, I'm choked out. Yeah, Remy, maybe you'll find one. I believe you will. You will because you are a very cool person. If you want to go for that, and then BK said, "Send over your application, Remy." And you see that not me though, because I'm an alien from space with a couple of moon rocks and a couple of meteors. I'm lucky if I could squander a penny. Some call me cheap, and my family calls me cheap, but they don't understand it's hard for an alien. Like my grandfather, my great great grandfather, they had very harsh hardships, and they just had pennies. My great grandfather had a sign on his truck that said, "We need money," and he used to go show people that he needed money, and they feel sorry for him. They're just like, I'm just a pitiful line of aliens. So hopefully somebody could go and help out the wonderful Remy. So, and basically, I what I really like about my swamps is basically I was in the swamp when I was like there's these swamp tours that I was supposed to go on when I was a kid. We would have went on a boat into the swamp, but my grandma thought I'd get eaten by an alligator, so I didn't go. But I've been in bogs and like swampy areas, especially the nature walk is very nice. Anyone have special plans for the holidays? You see, I'm a slow alien. I'm a very slow alien, so I was not. I'm being like real like blissful and Judge Bev, Auntie Bev, what people like to call her, was talking about the weekend. I'm like, you know what? I didn't even know that there was a holiday. I didn't even know there was a holiday. So I don't know, but I'm gonna do something. I'll watch a movie or something, or stand in my head. Oh yes, yes, I will, Kathy. I will, Kathy. Oh, I went to Nature Center. Nature Center. Yeah, they reopened it, and I love the planetarium. I love the planetarium. And I remember, Kathy, they brought back the nature walk. They brought a lot of it back. Also, what they did was they they brought and I enjoyed it with Mary Toodles. It was very nice. And I remember when I was a kid, I liked it. So I've seen some swampy things. This is very cool. You got Timu Confusion. Now there is a very old trunk of a cypress tree in my yard. A very old cypress tree trunk. And it was already rotted out, and it had to be hundreds or 1,000 years old or something. It was ancient from a lot. It was there back in the 40s when it was alive, so it was before the 40s, like probably before this country was part of the United States. Before this area was part of the United States. I don't know. I think Cecil's been here yesterday or the day before. Oh yes, Sharon, a safari would be fun. Yes. Ken Gibson. I don't know if I know who that is. I've not seen the person. I don't know if I know. We were out in the middle of the swamp tour, and it rained a little bit, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. Well, Kathy, that sounds like a beautiful experience. All right, Joyce, thank you for stopping by for a little bit, and good night to you. Aaron, I don't know what holiday's coming. I don't know what holiday's coming up, but we have to wait and see. Oh, that was really stupid. The chat can I can look it up, but the chat can answer her if they want to. But yeah, there's a holiday coming up. We got hello Alice, and I give all my people that I know on YouTube a mod wrench. So welcome to the spaceship mod team. Hello there. All of you have earned the wrench. All of you have earned it. Yeah. Well, you know what? I guess that I'm gonna look it up. How about that? I'll look it up. Memorial Day. Okay, I'm being a goof. A goof. Okay, thank you, Remy. Thank you. I was. You see, I need Remy on board the spaceship and all of the other fine people too, because I could be a spastic alien. So thank y'all. Thank you, Remy. Thank you. Good night, Frog Buddy. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate you, dude. Alice says I've been busy on the farmland lately. I've missed trial buddies. Aw. Yeah, we've missed you too. I missed you too very much. Also, it's a delight to see you. I am delighted to see you here with us. I miss you as well. Alice is waiting to be picked up by me on the spaceship. And I have been being a Timu alien because I gotta beam her up and bring her to my lair. It happened one time I picked her up and I brought her back to Earth, and now I have to go back and do it again. So I need to get with the program and go right towards her because I was trying to stall a little bit. But you see, she caught me red-handed. She was going to expose me for not beaming her up. Uh, and yeah, it's good. We have to go right over there to beam her up. Scared. Scared. My father-in-law did 20 years in the Air Force. He was an aviator. May he rest in peace. Nomad, may he rest in peace, and I'm thankful for his service to the country. Oh yeah, beam me up. I'm gonna beam y'all up in my spaceship. I ain't far as the ship flies. Scared. My friend Peach is in. She origins from Kentucky like Moki does, and she has a farm of all kinds of critters. She has like a commercial farm, and she also has baby goats. My friend Peach. She also has the billy goats and chickens. I'm talking about another friend, Peach, not Alice. And she also, one of my friends has an Arabian. She has an Arabian horse, a couple of Scotland ponies. It's pretty cool. So she pretty much has everything. And I would like to know what Alice has too. She could share with us if she wants. Moki says goats, chickens, ducks, cats, and birds. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, I love the farm life. Yeah. Oh, I love the farm because I learned a lot about farming from Peach, and she taught me a lot about it. Yeah, I love farming too. Oh lord, a lot of ships. Yes, she has an Arabian horse. Yes, and she has the Shetland ponies. These little tiny ponies. I got an idea. Let's see. Let's see if she's still here. I got some farm pictures from one of my friends. All right. All right. Well, the game is still kind of hanging there, but I'll show y'all something. Okay. Alice, I'm glad that my voice soothes you. My voice soothes you. Remy said my cousin served Marines and National Guard. Two of them were on the Bin Laden operation. Remy, I am thankful for their service very much, and that was a very great thing that they did. Oh, some are still National Guard. Oh, that's great. That's awesome. I love National Guards because during Hurricane Katrina, they really helped out the city. During Hurricane Katrina, the National Guards, they helped keep the peace and in spite of all the destruction. There is nothing here. It was like Somalia, like the pirates of Somalia. It was like there's like a no government. There's no government or anything. So it's good that shout out to National Guards. Remy, I'm glad they're okay now. They did a great work for humanity by what they did. Okay, Abby. Well, thank you for lurking and being in there, hanging in there with us. All right, so let's do this. Let's see which one I'm going to show first. Understood, Remy. Understood. And I'm glad that you would share that with us. That would, that's very sweet of you. All right. All right, got some funny farm pictures to show y'all. All right, shout out to the spaceship cats. All right, so this is from my friend Peach's farm. It's a goat. It's the goat with the chicken. Isn't that funny? I think farm animals and farm pictures are so funny. Yeah, so yeah, that's the one of the goats, and that's the chicken on top of the goat. Yeah, so yeah, it's very quite funny. There are five more left, Regina. Five more left. Yeah, this is hilarious. I mean, it's like that goat is making a lot of money carrying around that chicken. Yeah. I have some more to show y'all. Yeah, but this is, and also you have the goat in the background. Yeah, she has a channel. She's, you know, she doesn't really upload there. Yeah, they haven't caught them yet. Yeah. Or let's see some more. Also, I made memes out of them. Chicken goat yoga. I love that. Yes, I make memes out of them. I make memes out of them. Let's do that again and get that to work. Let's see. Goat. This cute little guy right here. All right, this is one of her ponies. It's a cute baby pony. And also the pony thinks it's the boss because what the pony likes to do is chase around the little baby goats. And Alice said Chicky riding his good goat steed. Yeah, it's such. And also, yeah, it chases around little baby goats. Oh yeah, the color. Oh yeah, very beautiful colors. Yeah. I got some more. Also, and yeah, very cute, very cute. I made a meme about one of my cats. Two of my cats. Also, yeah, so cute. Yeah, you need one of those. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, as I said, in the little bit in the horse, the little pony, it chases around the goats. Let's go Dodgers. Great to see you, my friend. Hello there. Also, let's see. Anyway, yeah. So going through here and let's see. Yeah, this area I want to look at. Yeah, show more. Oh yeah, sure, sure, sure. Okay. I made this one so the the boys and I watching as a teacher runs towards us and starts screaming at me. Yes, the little horse likes a hug. This is an incident that happened one time with the Key Club people with me. So this was a funny memory. So that was based on something that happened, and my friends and I were just like watching. So yeah, so there it is right there. Also, I'm gonna say, let's see, yeah, yeah, hilarious, hilarious. Yeah, so that's basically what it was like. Yeah. Yeah, hug him anyways. He needs the hug. Scared. Scared. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, cats are funny. Yeah. Cats are the best. Naughty, nice, and always up to something. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, cats are alien creatures. That is true. All right, here's another one. And Alice is packing her cat Uba for the spaceship flight with Alien. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna enjoy it, definitely. You're definitely gonna enjoy it. This is a goat that looks angry all the time, and we were saying like my friend Peach does not like when people type in all caps. So I made this meme. It's like when haters online type in all caps. We can all relate to this. Scared. Scared. Chad Goat. Yes. Yeah, and Alice said, I hate when people type in all caps. Stop yelling at me. Yeah, exactly. And also, we got a demon also to show y'all. Let's see. It's Monday, yeah. All right, I'm showing y'all more. Let's see. Let's see. I got one. Okay. All right. So this is a funny one. This is the devil duck, right here. This is the devil duck. Very angry looking. All right, Nomad. Have a good night. Thank you for coming. Have a great holiday weekend. Everyone, when Alien doesn't go live, that's what everybody's face is. And yeah, she had this duck. It looks like I made so many memes out of this duck. I gave this duck a whole career. Hello, Shecky. Great greetings. Devil dog sounds awesome. Yeah, hilarious. Hilarious. Let's see. Remy said, it looks like her after a night out. Scared. This thing's always cracking me up. Okay. And let's see. Oh. K. It's on 0. Okay, it's probably because of the other window. I know why. I know why. It's because of that. We're going to close it out. I knew that would knock a hole. Alright, we're back. We're back. It went out for a second. Okay. Yeah, this is another one that's... This is another one similar. Alright, so... The ladies when Alien goes live on YouTube. when also the guys too. When y'all get your notifications that I'm live, that's the reaction. Yeah, so this is a baby goat that Peach... well, it's not a goat. It's actually not a goat. But this is a little baby that she got. And then... Oh, what happened to the Hunchback Pirate? The Hunchback Pirate sunk some ships. And he is hunching to the floor right now, knocked out because of rum. So, yeah, but this is actually not a goat. It is a lamb, actually. So also what happened was, I thought it was a goat too, but no, she said the way it looks, it's a lamb. Yes, Remy, that is true. That is facts. Yes. And yeah, she got the lamb from a friend, and she's been taking care of it. And it's been getting bigger. But as I said, I thought it was a goat because it looks so similar to a goat. And yeah, the pirate is hunching back all the way down. Alice said, "It's a sheep. It's a sheep." I'm a, oh, You're right. It's not a lamb. It's a sheep. Okay. As I must. I got mixed up again. I got mixed up again. It's a yeah. Whatever it is, it's a sheep. Yeah, I must have gotten lamb and sheep mixed up. As I said, I need my chat because I make Timu mistakes. All right. So yes, and she has to push her way through. And is there an update? Did we hear about the stories of the stepdad, Lily, and Jackson Sullivan in Nova Scotia? I've heard of it. I've not looked too much into that case, but I have. I have looked into it. It's a sheep. Okay. Lamb or sheep's probably the same thing. I should know these things, but I am doing quite a few things at once. All right. Let's see. All right. This is another baby goat. Yes, it's both the same thing. Okay. Okay. You were just making a statement that it was a sheep. Okay. All right. Me when the shift is almost over, but there is just 1 minute left. That's what we all feel sometimes. That's Remy after a night out. Scared. Yeah, Sharon, certainly poor babies for sure. Yes. Yeah, as I said, this is a goat. This is a goat, not a lamb. Or, it is just a little baby goat. And me when the shift is almost over, but there's just 1 minute left. Yeah. 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 Yeah, so cute. Yes, such an adorable kitty. You heard that? I'd call it a cat. I call everything a cat. What's wrong with me? Hello, DJ. Great to see you, buddy. Welcome. Let's see. Sharon said, Remy, Illy, Jack. Okay, Illy 6, Jack 4 went missing in Nova Scotia. Mom and family. Mom left. During the live blockade, BF is with her family. Cringe. It's extremely cold in Nova Scotia. Now, this is a frog, just like our frog. Shout out to Frog in chat when he's not here right now. I don't know if he's here or not, but so shout to him. Oh, I have a couple windows open. I have to close. All right, I had to close. I had to close some windows. This is scared. Yeah, she caught a frog one time, and this is another meme. Like busted. Like he got busted, or he's scared. Scared. So shout out to our frog. There's our frog right there. That talks to us in chat. Yes, I know he left, but this is. Thank you for clarifying it, because I thought he did, but this is our frog right here. Shout to him. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. So I'll show you all one of her dogs. I'll show the dogs now. All right. This is her dog. A new dog she got. This is a very cute puppy right here. Sharon says, Remy, yeah, look it up in the interviews. And Sharon said, Remy, the mob crew did a podcast on it. All right. Thanks, Sharon, for sharing the information. Yeah, and it was a new puppy that she got, and she was glad to get it because it was unfortunate that the other one passed away, so she was glad to get this one. All right. Okay. Yeah, very cute baby bear. Yes. Yeah, photos. Let's see. I got a video of the farm animals. Let's see. All right, so this is a video of them. It won't show in the browser. Let's see. You can play it in the browser. I could do it. Hmm. They're cute until 2 a.m. when they want to play and been there. All right. So, all right. I'll try to do it this other way. Let's see. All right. This is the some of the farm animals. A video of them. Hmm. Glad you like that one. No, this is my friend Peach. It's not my farm. It's my friend's farm. It's like my farm, but it's technically the other one of my buddies. All right, let's go here, down here. Let's see. Ah, this is a nice one. There we go. Thanks for your patience. Beautiful landscape. Oh yeah, I'm glad you like the landscape. Got some Timu ducks. Aaron, I'm not sure about the trials. I don't know. Moki might if she was around. Maybe at some point this time or another time she'll let us know. I don't know of anything. There's a dog. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to show another dog. Okay, it automatically captured this other thing. Okay. So showing that. Alright, this is the dog. This is the one of the other dogs that she has. So, there we go. Dry spell of trials. I'm mentally checked out of Karen retrial. Oh yeah, Aaron. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, we need some new trials. We need some new stuff going on. Yeah. It's actually a she. It's a she. Yeah, she has her hands full. Yeah. All right. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you all about the solar flare crisis that's going on and do some different updates and things. All right. Let's see. All right, Aaron. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. And there is tons of more memes and stuff to show y'all. There's plenty more farm pictures to show y'all, and you'll see more as time progresses. There's cows. There's a video of this the little goat chasing the pony chasing all the other goats. Yeah, it's very hilarious. Yeah. So we talked the solar storm that's coming. Solar storm. And shout out to Zero because he predicted this. Right. Ah, these are some nice ones. Let's see. All right. Do it this other way. Oh, nothing selected. All right, Kathy. Good night to you, and thank you for coming. All right, let's continue on. Scared. Okay, we'll read through the phone. All right, I'm back. NASA warns of huge solar flares causing blackouts on Earth. Astronomers have warned of solar storms. Astronomers have warned of solar storms and other extreme space weather over the coming days and weeks as active part of the sun rotates view. It's okay, BK. It's okay. Thank you for letting us know. The activity is expected to cause auras and potential blackouts on Earth, with NASA Solar Dynamics Observatory recently capturing the most powerful eruption of 2025 from newly emerged sunspot regions. Classed as X2.7 flare, the highest category possible for a solar flare, the event triggered radio blackouts across the parts of the Middle East. High frequency radio signals were disrupted for around 10 meters according to space weather forecasts at the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, the NOAA US. NASA noted that ongoing flare and solar eruptions from the region could continue to impact the radio communications, electronic power grids, navigation signals, and pose risks to spacecraft and astronauts. So this thing can cause an outage. It can cause a global issue. This thing. It is quite crazy. It's scared. Scared. All right, Remy said, yeah, tonight and Kathy and Aaron. Yeah. Okay. All right. And Zero was the one that warned us about this. So there's going to be a solar flare that's going to hit our planet, and it could cause outages. All right, so we're going to get in more detail about this. All right. Okay, Remy, if I see him or anybody sees him next time, we'll bring him here. Yeah, because Mike Morrow needs to come. How space weather impacts us. A look at some of the worst solar storms in history. Last week, the sun spat out the strongest solar flare of the year so far, a burst of radiation and light that caused brief radio blackouts on the sunless side of the Earth. Despite its impressive magnitude, the flare was an X class, the most severe type of solar flare. It went largely unnoticed to those on the ground, not dialed to space news. But geomagnetic storms and more serious types of space weather, which can follow the solar flares, have the ability to shut down power grids, disrupt aircraft routes, global communication, and GPS, and damage satellites and spacecraft. Yes, I agree about chemtrails being real. Definitely. The UK is planning to dim the sun this year. They are admitting to spraying chemicals in the sky to block the sun. Oh yeah, I know they are. I've five cats told me about that. Oh yeah, yeah. They're it's nefarious planning that they're doing. Yeah, definitely. It has only happened to us before, but it could happen again. On September 1, 1859, amateur astronomers Richard Carrington and Richard Hog Hoggods Hogson Hodgson, something like that, witnessed a massive flare at night from the sun's surface while observing a cluster spots. Oh yeah, it's very humid where I am. Within a day, a geomagnetic storm had struck the Earth, sparking dazzling arrays of aurora borealis and knocking out telegraph systems across Europe and North America. Telegraph operators across Europe and North America found their systems overwhelmed and signals down, with some wires overheating so much that they triggered fires. Other workers unplugged batteries only to find that the telegraph system kept humming away, supercharged by the sun. One superintendent, Boston, Mass., who observed records of 1860 article, American Journal of Science, reported that the telegraph rider between Boston and Fall River had no battery connection with it on Saturday, and yet there was a current upon it during the entire day. Clouds taste metallic. Scared. So what happens? So this is how space weather works. Today, experts believe that 1859 geomagnetic storm, known as the Carrington event, was caused by at least one or possibly two coronal mass ejections, according to the Flaming Lips. Metallica fans. Yeah, I know about that. I know about that band. These are immense eruptions of solar material that often follow a solar flare. Because of the sun's equator rotates to faster its poles, its magnetic fields can get tangled up when the strain gets too severe. These magnetic fields can snap, releasing a burst of energy or solar material out into space. A solar flare emits radiation that interacts with our upper atmosphere, impacting radio signals without really affecting us to the ground. Yeah, Chad, that's hilarious. But the CME is a massive eruption of charged particles and plasma, sometimes millions of miles, well, up to thousands of kilometers per second on solar winds. When electrical magnetic field slams into the Earth's, it can spark geomagnetic storms that disrupt critical infrastructure. In 1859, that was a telegraph operations, but today it's power grids, satellites, and global navigation systems. Oh, your daughter's car broke down. Darn it. I hope she's okay and she's able to get out of that. Because the northern lights are caused by charged particles interacting with our magnetic field at the poles, CME can also cause dramatic displays of aurora borealis, like the ones during the geomagnetic storms in October of May 2024. Although they can occur independently of each other, stronger solar flares are often accompanied by CMEs. According to Ruben Fireye, research scientist in the Space Weather Group and the Canadian Hazards Information Service Natural Resource Canada. Quote, there's lots of different critical systems that can be impacted by space weather, so it's a good idea to keep track of what's going on, she said. She'll be fine. Tell her to ring the green flag. Canada's solar system of 1989. The last big solar event to have a notable impact on the power grid was 2003. For I said, when a number of geometric storms known as the Halloween storms rerouted aircraft and affected the GPS systems used for deep sea drilling and promoted astronauts and the International Space Station to take shelter from radiation in a specific part of the station, damaged Japanese satellites beyond repair, and triggered power outage in Malmö, Sweden. Malmö, Sweden. On AAA. AAA is good. Abby says, good night all. Not mentally all here. Good to see you all, though. You all have a restful night, and take care, everyone. Abby, I hope you have peace and a restful night, and you take care, too. All right. So, yeah, night, Abby. Drilling promoted astronauts in the International Space Station to take shelter from radiation, specific part of the station damaged by Japanese satellites. This event included flare at large with overwhelm of X-ray detectors. Number of satellites, it was later estimated to be an X-flare 28 according to European Space Agency, making it most powerful in recorded observational history. The biggest solar storm in Canada's history came March 1989 when CME struck Earth's magnetic field, sending electric currents following through the rock of the Canadian Shield's transmission lines in Hydro-Quebec. The resulting provocation, a wide blackout everywhere, left millions of residents on a darkness and cold for 9 hours. Yeah, Moki, I believe that. I certainly believe that because there's blackouts all over the world because of this. It messes with the telecommunication and the magnetic field, and they have all kinds of problems with radios, with the internet, with all these different things. It's causing a problem. The biggest solar system in Canada's history came, and also that's the strongest event we've had in this technical age. So the strongest one was in 1989 in Canada, and there's a blackout for 9 hours. That's the strongest we've ever seen in the age of technology. FireEye said, and it's really what we've used as a benchmark to make sure the system is safe. Other notable storms include ones in 1909 that disrupted telegraph lines across the U.S., and in 1967 that jammed the radar systems operating in Alaska, Greenland, and the UK amid mounting tensions between NATO and the Soviet Union, briefly sparking concerns of a Soviet attack. It's been more than 2 decades since a solar storm caused significant power functions, fluctuations in communications, disruptions, but in an increasingly technical world, it's something space forecasters are keeping an eye on to stay safe, the step ahead of the solar storm. Yes, I bet it does come in handy, definitely. I knew a guy. I know a guy that works for AAA. For the next year or so, solar flares and solar activity will be higher than usual, and we're within the period of solar maximum, the peak of the sun's 11-year cycle. We do have a lot of different technologies that are sensitive to space weather since 1989. For example, we've been much more independent or dependent on GNSS or GPS for navigation, and that can be impacted by space weather, Fire Eye said. She added that Canada, due to its proximity to northern magnetic poles, it's more vulnerable to space weather. But as it also means that we're in the very best place to observe it so we can build accurate forecasts. All right. So that's information on the solar flare. It's a very scary thing. It's like it could be coming out of nowhere from the sun and it hits us. And we can't really evacuate because we're on the same planet. Yes, correct. So basically, Sharon, it takes 11 years for the cycle to continue. Like every 11 years, it cycles to the sun like that. So we will have some time dealing with this. It'll have like outbursts and hit the planet, but it happens every 11 years. Yes, we'll get the spaceship ready. Yes, every 11 years this takes place. The Earth goes through one cycle around the sun. So, yeah, that is like, what's causing this. I'll be getting the spaceship ready. That's a photograph of it hitting the. That's a photograph of what's how it works. So the sun spouts. a light, a burst of energy, and it hits our planet. So that's our closest star. Because there's many stars. That's our closest one. Talk a little bit about what a solar flare is. A solar flare is relatively intense, localized emission of electrical magnetic radiation in the sun's atmosphere. Flares occur in active regions and are often, but not always, accompanied by coronal mass ejections. Solar particle events and other eruptive solar phenomena. The occurrence of solar flares varies with the 11-year solar cycle. The solar flares are thought to occur when stored magnetic energy in the sun's atmosphere accelerates change particles in the surrounding plasma. This results in the emission of electrical magnetic radiation across the electromagnetic spectrum. The typical time profile of these emissions feature three identifiable phases: a precursor phase, a impulsive phase when particles accelerate dominates, and a gradual phase in which hot plasma injected into the corona by the flare cools by a combination of radiation and conducting of energy back down to lower atmosphere. The extreme ultraviolet X-ray radiation from solar flares is absorbed by the daylight side of Earth's upper atmosphere in particles, the ionosphere, and does not reach the surface. This absorption can temporarily increase the ionization of the ionosphere, which may interfere with shortwave radio communication. The prediction of solar flares is an active area of research. Flares across also occur on other stars where the term stellar flare applies. So other stars can do it, but it has to be similar to our type of star. Well, you see, Sharon, what happened was my soothing voice put them all to sleep. So they fell under my spell. So they're having a nice rest, and also I'm sure that there's some lurkers in the chat as well. So yeah, you're the only one that's up for now, but we will now continue. Solar flares are eruptions of electrical magnetic radiation originating in the sun's atmosphere. They affected all layers of the solar atmosphere, chromosphere, and corona. The plasma medium heated to 10 to the 7 power of Kelvin, which electrons, protons, and heavier ions are accelerated to near the speed of light. Flares emitted electromagnetic radiation across the electromagnetic spectrum from radio waves to gamma rays. Exactly, Sharon. Exactly. Flares occurred in active regions, often around the sunspots, where intense magnetic fields penetrate the photosphere to link the corona to the solar interior. Flares are powered by the sudden timescales of minutes, tens of minutes, release of magnetic energy stored in the corona. The same energy release may also produce coronal mass ejection, although the relationship between CMEs and flares is not well understood. Associate with solar flares are flare sprays. They involve faster ejections of material than eruptive prominences and reach of velocities of 20 to 200 2,000 kilometers per second. All right, these are different images of what this does from different lenses. Scared. Scared. It's like we're on the spaceship and we see that as we pass by. Flares occur in active regions, often around the sunspots where intense magnetic fields penetrate the photosphere to link the corona in the solar interior. Flares are powered by the sudden timescales of minutes to tens of minutes release of magnetic energy stored in the corona. The same energy releases may also produce coronal mass ejections. Moki said she has the movie Nope on. Y'all are hilarious. Movie. Yeah, the jellyfish alien, right. Associated with solar flares are flare spares. They involve ejections in material, eruptive prominences in the reach of velocities to 20 to 2,000 kilometers per second. Flares occur when accelerated charged particles, mainly electrons, interact with plasma medium. Evidence suggests that the phenomenon of magnetic reconnection leads to this extreme acceleration of charged particles on the sun. Magnetic reconnection may happen on solar arcades, a type of prominence consisting of a series of closely occurring loops following the magnetic lines. All right, you might need a snack. All right, I'll take care of you right now. All right. What is the cause of this? Flares occur when accelerated charged particles, mainly electrons, interact with plasma medium. Evidence suggests that the phenomenon of magnetic reconnection leads to extreme acceleration of charged particles. On the sun, magnetic reconnection may happen on the solar arcades, a type of prominence consisting of a series of closely occurring loops following magnetic lines of force. These lines force quickly reconnection into lower arcade loops, leaving the helix a magnetic field. Unconnected to the rest of the arcade, the sudden release of energy is reconnected to the origin of the particle acceleration. The unconnected magnetic helical field in the material that it contains may violently expand outwards, forming a coronal mass ejection. This explains why solar flares typically erupt from inactive regions on the sun where magnetic fields are much stronger. Although there is a general agreement on the source of flares' energy, the mechanisms involved are not well understood. It is not clear how magnetic energy is transformed into kinetic energy of the particles, nor is it known how some of the particles can accelerate on the GeV range and beyond. There are also some inconsistencies regarding the total number of accelerated particles, which sometimes seem to be greater than the total number of control loops. Moki, I looked it up, but I didn't cover it on the stream. I didn't cover it on the stream. But I don't. We could read a little bit into it now. We could look into it, and also on future streams too. We'll look at it. We could do a review on it tonight. A post-eruption arcade presents after an X5.7 class solar flare during the solar day storm. That's very cool. Post eruption loops in arcades. After the eruption of a solar flare, post eruption loops made a hot plasma begin to form across the neutral line, separating regions of opposite magnetic polarity near the flare's source. These loops extend from the photosphere up into the corona and form a long neutral line at increasingly greater distances from the source as time progresses. The existence of these hot loops is thought to be continued by prolonged heating and present after eruption and during the flare's decay stage. Okay, Moki, I did find it interesting. I enjoyed it. Thank you. And also, I looked at the Karen Reed link that you sent me before the stream ended last night. I looked at both of them, but I will cover that in a future stream. All right. Yeah, but and thank you. I thought it was very interesting. Oh yeah, this looks like a wallpaper. Now, that's very fascinating. It looks like Apple's wallpaper or Windows wallpaper. It looks that would explain where that comes from. It's very cool. It's very enchanting. Post eruption loops in arcades. In sufficiently powerful flares, typically of C class or higher, the loops may combine to form an elongated arch like structure known as the post eruption arcade. These structures may last anywhere from multiple hours to multiple days after the initial flare. In some cases, dark, sunward traveling plasma voids, known as supra arcade downflows, may from above to these arcades. Frequency. The frequency of these occurrences of solar flares varies within 11 years of the solar cycle. So, Sharon, this happens every 11 years. It can typically range from several per day during the solar maxima. So it could happen every day to less than one every week during the solar minima. Additionally, more powerful flares are less frequent than weaker ones. For example, 10 dash class severe flares occurs on average about 8 times per cycle, whereas M1 class minor flare occur on average about 2,000 times per cycle. Understood, Sharon. E. Erich Reiger discovered with co-workers in 1984 an approximately 154-day period occurrence of gamma ray emitting solar flares at least since the solar cycle 19. The period has since been confirmed in most heliophysics data and the interplanetary magnetic field, and it's commonly known as the Reiger period. The period's Renaissance harmonics also have been reported from most data types in the heliosphere. Frequency distributions of various flare phenomena can characterized by power law distrib- distributants. For example, the peak fluxes of radio, extreme ultraviolet, and hard and soft X-ray emissions, total energies, and flare durations have been found to follow power law distributions. Soft X-ray. The modern classification system of the solar flare uses letters A, B, C, M, and X. According to the peak flux, it watts per square meter of soft X-rays with wavelengths of zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.8 nanometers. All right, Moki, see you tomorrow and enjoy your movie. I'm glad that you spent time with us this evening. Thank you. Have an amazing, blessed night. All right. All right, so my man Gregatron. It's amazing to see you, buddy. Yeah, so shout out to Gregatron. He's a cool channel too. Yeah, so basically, Gregatron, I was showing some farm animals from one of the friends I have, and we were talking about America and how great it is and all the different places here. Because like Remy, she at some point in the future she'll visit the country and she likes the different parts of it. So talking about different parts of America, we had a good time, and and also Gregatron. I hope that you have been doing well and everything's been going good with you with what you're doing. And also, how is the workouts going? Because I know you do very well with working out. Yeah, so I've just been streaming every single day with the trial fam, and I gave ABL some shout outs. So it was a pretty cool. It's been pretty good on my end. The strength of an event within a class is noted by a numerical suffix ranging from 1 up to but excluding 10, which is also a factor that event within the class. Hence, an X2 flare is twice the strength of an X1 flare. An X3 flare 3 times as powerful. Oh, okay, Gregatron, thank you. Okay, glad to know. As powerful as X1. M class flares are a tenth of the size of X class flares with the same numeric suffix, and X2 is 4 times more powerful than an M class flares with a peak 10 negative 3 W slash M to the second power may be noted with the numerical suffix equal to greater than 10. This system was originally devised in 1970 and included only the letters C, M, and X. These letters were chosen to avoid confusion with other optical classification systems. The A and B classes were added to the 1990s. Instruments became more sensitive to weaker flares around the same time. The backrunium moderate for M class flares and extreme for X class flares began to be used. The importance. An earlier classification system, sometimes referred to the flare importance, was based on the H alpha spectral observations. The scheme used both intensity and emitting surface. The classification and its intensity is quantitative, referring to flares as faint, normal, or brilliant. The emitting surface is measured in terms of millionths of the hemisphere and described below. The total hemisphere area of A lowercase h equals 15.5 times 10 to the 12th power km squared. A flare is then classified taking S, or a number that represents its size, and the letter that represents its peak intensity. Sn is a normal sun flare. Duration. A common measure of flare duration is full width at the half maximum, time to flux to soft X-ray, band 0.5 to 0.4 and 0.1 to 0.8, measured by GOES. The FWHM time spans from when a flare's flux first reaches halfway between its maximum flux and background flux, and when it again reaches the value as the flare decays. Using this measure, duration of a flare ranges from approximately tens of seconds to several hours, with a median duration of approximately 6 to 11 minutes, and 0.05 to 0.04 and 0.1 to 0.8 nm bands, respectively. Flares can also be classified based on their duration as either impulsive or long duration events, LDE, and time threshold. Separating the two is not well defined. The SWPC regards events requiring 30 minutes or more to decay to half a minute, half maximum. LDEs, whereas Belgium's Solar Terrestrial Center of Excellence regards to events with duration greater than 60 minutes as LDES. Also, continuing. The electromagnetic radiation emits during a solar flare propagates away from the sun. The speed of light intensely inversely proportional to the square of the distance from its source and region. The excess ionizing radiation, namely the X-ray and extreme ultraviolet XUV radiation, is known to affect planetary atmosphere and is of relevance to human space exploration and search for extraterrestrial life. You see, it has to do with extraterrestrials. Solar flares also affect other objects the other in the solar system. Research into these effects has primarily focused on atmosphere of Mars and to a lesser extent that of Venus. The impacts on other planets and solar system are little studied in comparison, as the 2024 research on their effects on Mercury have been limited to modeling the response of ions in the planet's magnetosphere and their impact on Jupiter and Saturn have only been studied in context of X-ray radiation back scattering off to the planet's upper atmosphere. Ionosphere. Enhanced XUV irradiance during solar flares can result in an increased ionization, dissociation, and heating of the ionospheres of Earth and Earth like planets. On Earth, these changes to the upper atmosphere, collectively referred to as sudden ionospheric disturbances, can infer short waves. All right, Sharon, see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Sharon. Have a splendid evening, a great, blessed night to you. Thank you. Alien, okay, I'm going to go. Thank you for all you do. Much appreciated. All right. All right, Sharon. Peace. Radio communication and global navigation satellite systems, such as GPS and subsequent expansion of the upper atmosphere, can increase drag on the satellites in lower Earth orbit, leading to orbital decay over time. Flare associated XUV photons interacted with ionized neutral constituents of planetary atmospheres via process of photonization. The electrons of the freed this process referred to as the photoelectrons to distinguish them from the ambient ionospheric electrons are left with kinetic energies equal to the photon energy and excess ionization threshold. In the lower ionosphere, where the flare impacts are greatest, the transport phenomena are less important to newly liberated photoelectrons lose energy primarily via thermalization, which ambient electrons and neutral species via secondary ionization due to collisions, which the latter are so-called photoelectron impact ionization. In the process of thermalization, photoelectrons transfer energy to neutral species, resulting in heating and expansion of the neutral atmosphere. The greatest increase of ionization occur with the lower ionosphere, where wavelengths with the greatest relative increase in irradiance, the highest pre-penetrative X-ray wavelengths are absorbed, corresponding to Earth's E and D layers and Mars' an M1 layer. The temporary increase in ionization of daylight side of Earth's atmosphere, in particular, the D layer of ionosphere, can infer with the shortwave radio communications that rely on its level of ionization for skywave propagation. Skywave or skip refers to the propagation of radio waves reflected or refracted off the ionized ionosphere when ionization is higher than normal. Radio waves get degraded or completely absorbed by losing energy from the more frequent collisions with free electrons. The level of ionization of the atmosphere correlates with the strength. Uh, Hello, Matt. It's great to see you, buddy. We are talking about space ghosts and solar flares. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the science behind that. And tonight we talked about a couple of different things regarding America, different places to visit. You would have liked that conversation. We also talked about different places to, people can like different parts of the country that are nice, which you've seen before. We talked about some trials. And I showed some farm animals from one of my friends, and we talked about animals and cats and stuff, and the not just cats but other animals too. And we talked about some trial stuff. We talked about space, a couple different things. Talk about cowboy bebop. And Matt says electric magnetic interference is one of my nerdy specialities. Thank you, Gregatron. I'm glad you like it. Actually, on this show, which I gotta talk about again, is Billy the Kid from the Old West. I've talked about him too, and I'll talk about him more. His story is very interesting. He was from New York, and then he went over to out west, and he became an outlaw. It was that his story is really crazy, but yeah. So basically, there's a solar flare heading towards our planet. A couple of them, and Curse Zero was the one that told us about what was going on. So we had a. I've been talking about the solar flares because they're very dangerous and it could cause outages on Earth, and it happens every 11 years. So that's why when we're talking about the scientific side of it. Right. The level of ionization of the atmosphere correlations with the strength of associated solar flare is often X radiation. The Space Weather Prediction Center, a part of the United States National Oceanic, the Atmospheric Administration, classifies radio blackouts by the peak soft X-ray intensity of the associated flare. During non-flaring or solar quiet conditions, electric currents flow through the ionosphere dayside E layer, inducing a small amplitude diurnal variations of the geomagnetic field. These ionospheric currents can be strengthened during the large solar flares due to increases in electrical conductivity associated with enhanced ionization of E and D layers. The subsequent increase of the induced geomagnetic field variation is referred to a solar flare effect, or historically scared as a magnetic crochet. The later term derives from the French word crochet, meaning hook, reflecting the hook and the disturbance in magnetic field strength observed ground base magnometers. So this means that the curve that it has will cause it'll cause these different issues to ensue, and it will be in like a hook formation. Based on magnetometers, and these disturbances are on the order of a few nano nanoteslas and last for a few minutes, which relatively minor compared to those included during the geometric storms. For astronauts in low Earth orbit, and an expected radiation dose from electromagnetic radiation emitted during a solar flare is about a 0.05 gray, which is not immediately lethal, on its own. Of much more concern for astronauts is the particle radiation associated with the solar particle events. Mars. The impacts of solar flare radiation on Mars are relevant to exploration and search for life on the planet. Models of the atmosphere indicate that most energetic solar flares previously recorded may have provided acute doses of radiation that would have been almost harmful or lethal mammals and other higher organisms on Mars' surface. Furthermore, flares energetic enough to provide lethal doses which not yet observed on the sun are thought to occur and have been observed by the sun-like stars. And I'm basically going in detail explaining how it works. This is quite fascinating. Flares produce radiation across the electromagnetic spectrum, although with different intensity. They are not very intense in visible light, but they can be very bright, particular spectral lines. They normally produce Bremish Tralung and X-rays and synchrotron radiation in radio. Optical observation solar flares were first observed by Richard Carrington and Richard Hodgson independently on the 1st September 1859 by project the image of the solar disk produced by an optical telescope through a broad band filter. It was an extraordinary intense white light flare, a flare emitting a high amount of light, the visual spectrum. Since flares produce copious amounts of radiation, H alpha adding a narrow 1A passband filter centered at wavelength to optical telescopes allow the observation of not very bright flares with a small telescope for years. HA was the main, if not the only, source of information about solar flares. Other passband filters are also used. And this is an example of what they were seeing in the sky. An old explanation of them. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And more context about this is that Richard Carrington's sketch of the first recorded solar flare, A and B, marked the initial bright points which moved over the course of 5 minutes, the C and D before disappearing. During World War II, on February 25th, that's my birthday, and 26th of 1942, British radar operators observed a radiation that Stanley Hay interpreted as a solar emission. Their discovery did not go public until the end of the conflict. The same year, Southworth also observed the sun in radio, but as with Hay, his observations were only known after 1945 and 1943, and Gro Reber was the first report radio astronomical observation of the sun at 160 MHz. The fast development radio astronomy revealed new peculiarities of the solar activity like the storms and bursts related to the flares. Today, ground-based radio telescopes observe the sun from 15 MHz up to 400 GHz. Space telescopes. Because of Earth's atmosphere, observed much of the electromagnetic radiation emitted by the sun with wavelengths shorter than 300 nm. Space-based telescopes allowed for the observation of solar flares in previously unobserved high-energy spectral lines since the 1970s. GOES series of satellites have been continuously observing the sun in a soft X-rays, and their observations have become the standard measure of flares, diminishing the importance of the H alpha classification. Additionally, space based telescopes allow for observation of extremely long wavelengths, as long as the few kilometers, which cannot propagate through the ionosphere. Examples of solar flares. Most powerful flare ever observed is thought to be the flare associated with 1859 Carrington event. While no shift in the X-ray measures were made, the time of the magnetic crochet associated with the flare was recorded by ground-based magnetometers, allowing flares to strengthen to be established by after the event. Using these magnetometer readings, its soft X-ray class has been estimated to be greater than 10x and around x45. In modern times, the largest solar flare measured with instruments occurred on 4 November 2003. This event saturated GOES director and became this. It's classified. It's only approximate. Initially explorating GOS, it is estimated to be X28. Later analysts of the ionospheric events suggested increasing this estimate to X45. This event produced the first clear evidence of new spectral components above 10 GHz. Also, I'm going to say something about the Diddy update. I'll talk a little bit about that. Today we got on different topics today besides the Diddy thing, but I'll mention some stuff about him. And then we'll be finished. Sean Diddy Combs trial. Kid Cudi testifies his Porsche was torched with Molotov cocktail after relationship with Cassie Ventura. All right, here we go. The rapper Scott Meshuti, known professionally as Kid Cudi, testified about his relationship with Casey Ventura and the abusive nature of her relationship with Sean Combs. Thursday, he testified his car was torched with a Molotov cocktail after his relationship with Ventura ended and suspected Combs was involved. Earlier in the day, Combs' former assistant, George Kaplan, returned to the witness stand describing the demanding job of being Combs' big man and cleaning the liquor bottles and baby oil from the hotel rooms. Well, he was the baby oil butler right there. Witness next week, including another former assistant of Combs, member of LAPD FAD. Court will resume on Thursday, giving jurors an extended holiday weekend with another round of witnesses for the prosecution. A holiday weekend with another round of witnesses for the prosecution. Maroon Comey told the judge Capricorn Clark Combs, former assistant, will take the stand, as well as unnamed members of the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles Fire Department. Photos show damaged Kid Cudi's convertible. Prosecutors admit photos of evidence shows that burn of damage of Kid Cudi's car, which he said caused by Molotov cocktail in 2012, and learned that Casey was dating Kid Cudi. Diddy goes by his emotions. He doesn't seem to go by any kind of logical reasoning. Hotel manager says the hotel manager says the room marked out of order after Combs stayed and would require deep cleaning. Scared. Frederick Zimur, hotel manager of the L'Hermitage Hotel in Beverly Hills, testified a room would require deep cleaning after Combs stayed there. Zimur told the court that Combs would stay under an Alice. Notes marked in his hotel profile include Combs' excessive amounts of oil and spilled candle wax and everything. The room had been marked out of order for deep cleaning, and Combs left. Zimur testified an added additional 500 fee was charged for damage Combs did. Casey left with swelling, busted lip after going into a room with Combs, Morales said. Morales corroborated some testimony from Casey Ventura, who alleged that Combs beat her in a hotel room after spotting her at an unexpected party in Prince Los Angeles homes. The makeup artist also told the court that she stayed behind to take a nap at the couch in Ventura's Beverly Hills hotel room that night and woke up with a commotion later. Morales testified that Ventura came and went straight to the bedroom and Combs behind her. The couple shut the door to the bedroom, and Morales said she heard yelling and screaming before Combs left the hotel. She did not witness what occurred between the couple, but said Ventura had swollen eye, busted lip, and knots over her head after the incident. Morales testified that Ventura stayed with her a few days after the incident, and a doctor friend came to check. The singer refused to go to the emergency room. The incident left Morales left in fear for her life, as she didn't call the police, and she and Ventura saw each of the few times after the night, but did not acknowledge the incident, she said. Makeup artist testified she gave a handful of interviews. I said that, okay. Let's go down here. And then when Kid Cudi concludes, the court goes to lunch. All right, so that is what we covered. I'm just going to look over this real quick. All right. Look, show you all. Let's see, alien orb. This is an alleged alien orb, by the way, that was found in Colombia. For those that are listening, it is a silver manifold sphere. So, to put it in layman's terms, it looks like a giant basketball, and it has some writings on it and some symbols with a crescent moon and some symbols with the triangle, and it has a computer chip type thing in the center with some markings all around it and a circular motion. It's allegedly an alien orb. Then you have this other one right here, and these alien orbs are something that we cannot completely explain, and there's something from out of this world, right? So that's something fascinating. And let's say the gray aliens. This is the gray aliens. So gray alien. And these allegedly crashed at Roswell, and people have claimed to be experimented by them, and even have had been experimented on by them, and been given different offspring. So you have this alien, there's a mannequin of it, as a missing link from the fall. There's gods and goddesses and different beings. This allegedly is something from that. And what y'all are looking at, if y'all are listening, is it looks like an insect, and it's gray and has high cheekbones, because the insects are kind of, and the aliens have some sort of a connection. So that's something I just will throw that out there and mention. All right. So okay, we completed the stream. Okay, everybody. Well, we completed the stream. We finished everything, and I want to thank everybody for coming out and listening, watching. I appreciate all of you, and because of all of you, is because the channel is growing because of all of you. So I appreciate all of you for everything y'all do, in spite of all the haters and the Timu trolls, the spaceship. We are rolling on and gliding through the stars in the space of the Wild West of the internet. So, thank you everybody for being here, and hope everybody has a blessed evening. I'll be live tomorrow, because I've been live every day pretty much, so why not go live tomorrow? So, as we usually do. So, everybody have a great weekend, and peace. It's just yet. It's not the weekend just yet. It's tomorrow, but the weekend will be coming up. So everybody have a good night, and have a good Friday tomorrow. We'll be live as well tomorrow at some point. So it's not the weekend, but it's almost there. So have a good evening, everybody, and peace. You want me to talk about the Outlaw Star? Okay. We could do this for a second. I could do it for a second. Alright. Let's see the Outlaw Star. So we're having a little overtime. We're having overtime. Alright. Okay. Well, I'll talk about this. Alrighty. It's loading. Alright. So, we are having a little overtime. This is after show. This is the after show. So, we are going to go in overtime and talk about Outlaw Star. Okay. So, Gregatron says Gene Starwind. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. Oh, and we were talking about Vash and anime, so this is a new anime to talk about. All right. So we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this too. Okay. Outlaw Star is a Japanese media mix primarily consisting of an anime television series produced by Sunrise and now television Bandai Namco Filmworks, and a corresponding Sinian manga series written and illustrated by Takinhiko Ito. The series takes place in the Towards Stars era universe, which spacecraft are capable of traveling faster than the speed of light. The plot follows protagonist Gene Stairwind and his motley crew of an inherited ship dubbed by Outlaw Star as they search for a legendary outer space treasure trove called the Galactic Liline. Planned by Sunrise under Hijime Yate Sunium and Ito, Outlaw Star first appeared as a magna originally sterilized in the monthly Shueisha magazine Ultra Jump between 1996 and 1999. Total of 21 chapters. 3 volumes of collected chapters were published in Japan between August 97 and January 99. Although no official English version of the manga exists, it has been published in Chinese, German, Italian, and Spanish. And let's see the plot. Alright, I love the plot. Outlaw Star is a space opera space western set in the fictional Toward the Stars era universe. During its past, an asteroid containing a material known as the Dragonite crashed in the fictional Arashon Desert of northern China. Scientists found that the Dragonite contained properties related to either an electrical energy source that would allow spacecraft to travel faster than the speed of light and thus traverse large distances of the universe in short time as new colonies were formed throughout vast reaches of outer space. Pirates, assassins, and outlaws began to threaten humanity's new frontier to create the Order of the Earth Federation, established for empires USSA, Enhorn, and Pyotr and Tenpa. However, international power struggles within the factions and conflicts amongst one another became abundant, leading to inevitable lawlessness. The storyline starts shortly after the infamous outlaw named Hot Ice Hilda flees from the Key Pirates, a branch of the Tinpa. Hilda has stolen from a highly advanced prototype ship dubbed the XGP-15A11, a suitcase containing a bio-android called a Melphinia, the only being capable of facing with the ship. Outlaw Star opens the backwater planet Siental 3, on which the protagonist Gene Starwind and his 11-year-old business associate and best friend James Him Hawking run a small jack of all trades business. After the two take a job bodyguards for distinguished Hilda and engage in a brief skirmish with the Ki Pirates, Gene and Jim find themselves the owners of the XGP-15A2, which nickname Outlaw Star, and caretakers of Milfinia. Though Hilda is deleted in the process, Hilda reveals that the ship's true purpose is to locate the Galactic Line, the Ginka no Ryo Miyuku, the Galactic Dragon Vein, a place which popular claims say is a holder of immense treasure, knowledge, and power. Throughout the course of the series, the crew grows to include the Kimono, grabs the contract killer, or contract the leader, I should say, contract the leader, Twilight Suzuka, the Catral, Alien Cackerel, Aisha Kenkan. The Outlaw Star Magna series and animated television series are paced differently. The anime episodes often involved Gene and his comrades taking on various jobs or missions to fund their ship's massive maintenance costs. Throughout their travels, the crew often encounters Ronald MacDougall and Harry MacDougall, a pair of bounty hunters responsible for the deletion of they're responsible for deletion responsible for the deletion of Gene's father. Roland acts as a rival to Gene while Harry wishes to form a bond with Melfinia, a bio android like himself who instead develops a strong feelings for Gene. The crew also contends with others that learn the Outlaw Star's connection to the galactic ley line. They are of Nigu In Kahan, a scientist wishing to gain incense, incense through the Lee Line, and Lord Heizonko, and leader of the ruthless assassin, organized the Aten Seven that seek the ley line to gain ultimate power in series climaxes when all parties meet the physical plane of the ley line. In the end, Ron McDougall retreats, saved by a computer copy of his brother Harry, who is deleted, trying to protect Melfinia from Hazan Ko. Khan integrated into the ley line as Data Gene reveals to Melfinia that he is in love with her and frees her from Leyline by making it their shared wish to be together forever. And Hazanko is eventually defeated by the Outlaw Star crew members once conflict comes to a close. Gene and his friends return to Sentinel 3 and their separate ways, but ultimately reunite to continue their adventures together. Production. Outlaw Star was created by Morningstar Studios, and Takehiko Ito was Magna's director's writer and chief artist. Ito was aided in his duties by Heijime Yatate, a pseudonym of writers at the Sunrise. It's pronounced Melfina. Okay, thank you. A pseudonym of the Sunrise. Others who contributed to the work: producer Kenzo Tomita, starship designer Soji Kawamori, character concept and image board illustrates Yutaka Minowa in Haijurin and Jinguji, and a team of production designers and assistants artists. Outlaw Star takes place in the toward the Stars era. The same universe, Ito's Uchu Iu Monogarati, space hero story, pulp science fiction magna that was the first series by Kado Kawa. Kado Kawa. Shoten in 1988, Ito has described his earlier work as something out of a boy's dream and took much of a more mature scientific approach when writing Outlaw Star. The author referenced aspects of Chinese culture when creating Outlaw Star. The animated television series of Outlaw Star was produced by Sunrise and directed by Mitsuru Hongo, whose previous credits include the comedy Crayon Shin-chan and Magical Girl series Shamanok Princess. The Spirit was chiefly written by Katush Iko Kiba, who wrote about three-quarters of the episode's character designs were handled by Hiroyuki Hataki. Dentator Oregon Armored Trooper Votums and Takua Saito. The show's vehicles were designed by Yon Iya Ishiki and Marcos and Gundam Mecha. Artist Shoji Kawamori, and the latter of whom designed the Outlaw Star ship itself. Kao Utani composed of the musical score of the Outlaw Star anime. This series features the opening theme Through the Night, written and performed by Mashikyo and Armachi, and two closing themes, Hiro no tu no Tushki Tuyuski, Daytime Moon, and Tuski no Lee. I was for a second was looking at something else. All right, A Lit House of the Moon, both written and performed by Ikono Arai. Though the night was chosen to the opening among several candidate songs, Ito Sunrise agreed that the theme should be the one that had been used in recent animation. It should be featured in male voices. Armachi wrote, "The song resembles a story that took account its long-term impact, felt Outlaw Star perfectly." Media, manga. Outlaw Star was serialized in Japan's monthly Shusha magazine Ultra Jump between 1996 and 96 and 99. A total of 21 chapters were published, and 17 of these chapters were compiled among the three Tankupon collected volumes released in Japan from August 97 to January 99. Each volume also contains information on the series universe, detailed spaceship and a planet description that the character profile. Chinese version. The manga was published in Hong Kong by Sharp Point Press. The series also has been published in German, Italian by Planet Manga. No official English translation of The Outlaw Star exists, though Morningstar Studio officials' website suggests that a release in the United States was planned at one time. Anime. I'll show you all a little picture. And the McDougall's brothers like Google. McDougall is like Google. McDougal. Okay, thank you, Gregortron. Thank you. Also, the 26 episode anime The 26 episode anime adapted Outlaw of Star began broadcasting in Japan on TV Tokyo from January 8, 1998. All right, continuing. 26 episode anime adaptation from Star. Hello, Todd. Good to see you, buddy. We're talking about anime. And before that, we're talking about the solar storms. All right. The 26 episode anime adaptation of Outlaw Star began broadcasting in Japan on TV Tokyo from January 8, 1998 to ended on June 25, 1998. Though the broadcast began on January 9, it was in a 1:15 a.m. slot. The series was licensed Bandai Entertainment. The English version was produced ZRO Limit Productions and was aired on the evening of Tanami block beginning on January 15, 2001, ended on February 21, 2001. This broadcast of the show was heavily edited due to its adult content. Profanity was removed from the scene with violence and lewd behavior. And also, yeah, that's some of the anime right there. And here we go. Broadcast the show was heavily edited due to its content, and profanity was removed, and scenes and lewd behavior were cut or toned down. Many scenes containing nudity were altered by digitally inserting clothing into the characters. Episode 23, which Outlaw Star crew visits a hot spring planet, was not aired due to nudity and suggestive themes. However, some instances of adult language were not removed for the anime's initial run. Toonami's creative director Sean Atkins claimed that the Cartoon Network made all of their own edits of the licensed properties during the time, which they did in a way to preserve the story. The role of Frito Luo, a reoccurring gay character, they toned it down. Cartoon Network had no specific editing policy regarding the gay characters, but that overtly sexual or implied sexuality of any kind not allowed. Outlaw Star was also aired on the late night Adult Swim block through 2002. However, the broadcast was canceled late in the year. According to Atkins, the network allowed its rights to the anime expire in 2003. Outlaw Star was aired in the United Kingdom on CNX in October 2002. Bandai released the first 19 episodes of Outlaw Star on DVD in Japan on August 25, 1999, and remaining its 13 episodes on November 25, 1999. A Japanese remastered DVD box set containing the entire series was published by Bandai on September 22, 2006. You love the 26 episodes. Awesome. I don't think I saw this one before. I have to go watch it. Yet another DVD box set, Emotion of the Beast, Seihayo Bukyo, Outlaw Star, was released in Japan on September 24, 2010. Bandai released the series in North America in 3 DVD collections on September 1, 2000, February 14, 2001, and March 2001. Outlaw Star Perfect Collection box set, a DVD completion of the entire series, was released on September 10, 2002. The series was again re-released on March 28, 2006 as the Outlaw Star Complete Collection. Outlaw Star additionally received DVD releases in Australia and New Zealand by Madman Entertainment. On June 23, 2004, in the United Kingdom by Bees Entertainment. On April 25, 2011. Following the closure, Bees and show was relicensed by Anime Limited, who would re-release the series in 2013 at Otakon 2020. Okay, it's 2013. Funi Animation and Sunrise had announced that they have rescued Outlaw Star with a handful of others former BEI title in October 2014. The entire series was released in Japan for the first time on Blu-ray, with the set including such features as staff commentary, an art gallery, board book, and breaks of Gene Melfinia. Various songs. On March 16, 2017, Funimation announced that Outlaw Star would be released in November, no, in North America in both standard collector's editions on June 13, 2017. Each edition includes DVD Blu-ray copy of the series, while the collector's edition comes in a metallic clipboard art box designed after the XGB 15A2, includes a 10-page art book following the Funa Mutations accusation of the series. It aired again on Cartoon Network as part of the Adult Swim on the Toon Ami programming block starting on August 20 in 2017 and concluding on March 18, 2018. Due to its late night broadcast on Adult Swim, the anime aired with fewer edits and include U.S. television premiere of episode 23. All right, CDs. The opening theme and the two closing themes of Outlaw Star were published in Japan in 1998 as CD signals. The opening theme and the two close themes of Outlaw Star were published in Japan in 1998 as CD singles by Victor Entertainment and JVC respectively. Victor Entertainment published a two-volume original soundtrack for the series on March 31, 1998 and June 24, 1998. The CDs consist of a total of 61 background vocal music track. Oh, you got the DVD box set. That's awesome. And on June 24, 1998, the CDs consist of a total of 61 background vocals, music tracks, another two-disc album containing several drama tracks, Sai Ho Bokyo, Outlaw Star soundtrack, scenario tracks, was released on August 21, 1998. Thank y'all for the views and the likes. I appreciate it. Light novels. A series of light novels based on Outlaw Star has been released in Japan by Shueisha under its Super Dash Outlaw Star Genga no Ryo Mayaku Hen. Outlaw Star Chapter Galactic Dragon Vein was written by Katsushiko Tiba. Illustrated by Takua Seityu. and released in two volumes in October 1998 and in February 1999. The two books are an adaptation of the anime series retelling the early events that trigger the Gene and Company's search for the galactic ley line. Another light novel, Unikai no El Dorado, I'm gonna try Dorado Co Bukyo Outlaw Star, El Dorado covered with clouds and star word Warrior Knight Outlaw Star was written by Mio Sakai, illustrated by Takua Saitoyu, and released as a single volume on July 14, 2000. The novel featured an original plot involving the Outlaw Star crew pursuing a serial deleter named Billy McAgleen in a mining town called El Dorado. Other merchandise. A hardcover guidebook titled Miyo Omno no Yoku Siho Bukyo Outlaw Star was published by Fuji Fujimi Shobo as part as the Dragon magazine import in November 1998. The guide continues the summarize of manga and anime character profiles, sketch and animation cells, interview with the production staff. In 2001, Bandai released the Outlaw Star action figure set as part of a line based on its licensed anime franchises, and the set contains Outlaw Star ship and characters Gene, and the pronunciation is Melfina, Asoko, and Nishidia. As one of the show's animations director, compelled her contributions to the toward the Stars era franchise in a 2009 art book. Talk about a little bit more about the reception, and that'll be it. Also, we'll pick up more on this on another stream. Critical reception for Outlaw Star has been favorable. Eric Luce, Eve Evi Upatakun, and Michael Pyrie of EXOG all gave similarly positive reviews for the Japanese manga, Japanese anime, and English anime versions of Outlaw Star, respectively. Lucy was contemporary of the manga's raw, yet good, distinctive artwork, detailed the backgrounds, and good placements of characters among one another. However, he was annoyed that all women have disturbing tendencies to all have the same silicone stiff chests, and the characters typically wear mad grins. Uputakun found the artwork of the anime version to be good, and he particularly enjoyed the opening sequence, but took issue with the occasionally inconsistent character designs. All right. So we'll pick up more on this another time, and thank you all for being here. And no, I know I want to end it because it's we're able to finish it. All right, everybody, we're going to continue more on this tomorrow, later on in the stream. And preferably we'll have when Gregatron's here, we'll do it, since he suggested it. All right. So I want to thank all of y'all for coming out. And thanks for being with me. And I enjoyed everybody's company. And thank you, Gregatron, for this suggestion. We'll continue to look into this. And we read the whole thing pretty much. There's just a little bit more to go. And also, thank you everybody for this great stream. We had a great time tonight. And peace.